Never.
We started it out.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, we're live. Here comes the intro. You're listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Grow Clinton is a 501c6 nonprofit economic community development and tourism organization based in Clinton, Iowa. For more information, visit growclinton.com. Again, that's growclinton.com. Now, back to the show. What's up, all you amazing people out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the one, the only, you love it, you know where to find it, Grow Clinton podcast. Brought to you by Grow Clinton, a small economic and community development organization located in the eastern side of the great state of Iowa, also serving Northwest Illinois. As always, I am your host for today's show, Andy Sokolovich, President and CEO of Grow Clinton, joined in the studio by none other than Jenny Home, our Director of Member and Community Relations. Jenny, what's happening? It's been a while.
It's been a while, hasn't
has.
it? We've had a busy kind of a summer. It's going by fast.
You know, our last episode 251, was recorded on the 11th of July with Josh Mooseman of JT Contractors.
How can that be? But
took some vacation, and then I did a little business travel, and then, we were super busy towards the end of the month, and now here we are almost halfway through August already.
I can't believe
Who would have thunk that?
No.
And, it just flew by.
Yeah. It did. And I went to New Orleans.
You did? You went to New Orleans, not just for pleasure, but you also went out there for the American Chamber of Commerce Executives annual meeting, their big meeting they have every year.
And it's big. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a national event, so it's people that are representing chambers of commerce like ours from all over the country. What's one key takeaway?
Well, I'll say it every time, but I'll say it again. We're crushing it. At Grow Clinton. People know us, and so that makes me feel really proud. One of the key takeaways I took away was that we're doing really well here.
It's amazing for a smaller community, population 25,000 here in Clinton. We have just about 500 members.
Yeah.
And when I share that number, people are surprised because there's large metropolitans out there.
Yeah.
Even like the greater Quad Cities that have maybe that much or just a little bit above.
I know.
But for us, I think we're doing a great job. And it's, it's all about trying new things, chucking something up against the wall, see if it sticks.
Yep.
And not being fearful of failure.
And I love that. I love that about this organization, that you can do that. You can try things and no fear. Just try it. Works out great. Doesn't, try again.
Absolutely. You know what else I love? Sponsors.
All
That's right, Jenny. Citizens First Bank. This mic check is courtesy of Citizens First Bank, making your finances and our audio crystal clear. These new mics for the Grow Clinton podcast are proudly sponsored by the bank that's always in tune with our community. Find them at gocfb.bank. Banking as it should be with Citizens First Bank. Member FDIC. AgCraft Printwear and selling sports. AgCraft's been in the custom apparel game since 1974. Now, a cutting-edge operation with a brand new corporate headquarters located off of 19th Avenue Northwest here in Clinton, right off the bypass. They make top-notch customized printwear for teams and companies all across the United States. For all of your custom printwear needs, visit agcraftusa.com. Make sure you visit sullysports.com. That's SULLYS sports.com for all of your sporting good needs. They also have a physical location, same address, 19th Avenue Northwest, where you can go in there and shop and make sure that Junior gets the shoes that he needs, or little Sally gets the equipment that she needs. And you use custom fit. Plus, if you sign up for the Sully's Shirt Club, $24.99 is the mid-tier. That's what I pay every single month, Jenny.
Did you get yours? Your shirt?
Yeah, it's coming.
All right.
I get not a custom, but an exclusive members-only shirt every single month, plus 10% off everything in the store.
Nice.
You can't beat that. The shirt is worth more than $24.
Oh, for sure.
So, and they're cool, and they're great fabric. They're well-made.
The designs are so cool.
And the designs are cool and retro. I really like them.
I like
they
that.
do a great job over there. Miles Communications, our original gangsta, the OG podcast sponsor, hooking us up with wicked fast, high-speed internet, ensuring that our broadcast is crisp, clear, and consistent. They also offer high-speed internet services for your home, as well as television and telephone options to meet your home or company's communication needs. If they're not in your neck of the woods, trust me, they are on their way. For more information, milestelephone.com. Lyondell-Basell, knee-deep in the turnaround right now. 2026 is going to run all the way through September. About 1,500 additional contractors on site. Please use caution if you're driving along Highway 30 just past the Anamosa Road turnoff It is busy, especially during crew change. But if you don't know, they produce high-density, low-density polyethylene plastic pellets used to create a variety of products. You can find those products in your house, on construction sites, and food packaging. LYB is committed to being a responsible, engaged neighbor in the Clinton community. They volunteer.
Artists, 6 national artists and 2 local artists who are going to perform. Just going to be a great time. We've got food trucks lined up. We typically have somebody who's twisting balloons and doing some face painting, so a little bit of fun for the kids too, and just going to be a great time.
How do you find information out about this? Do you have a Facebook page?
So yeah, we have a Facebook page, Bound for the Kingdom. We also have a website, boundforthekingdom.org. And the event is also on Eventbrite for tickets, so it would be eventbrite.com and look for Bound for the Kingdom.
So, Kate, where's this happening at? What's the location?
Down at the Bandshell.
Nice.
On the riverfront.
Very cool.
Beautiful place.
How long do you have to start planning? I mean, I know you've done it year to year, but after one's over, when do you start planning again?
A couple different stages of that. So we start kind of planning ahead as far as sponsorships. We've gotten a little better at that through the years past. Starting kind of planning that after the show.
Yeah.
Start getting letters out just for sponsorships by the end of the year. And then I really start kind of looking at artists probably like in the January time frame. We put out a list. I'll put out a list to our board. Here's kind of what we can afford. What do you guys think? And stuff like that, and then move from there.
So Bound for the Kingdom is a nonprofit, 501c3.
Correct.
How long ago was that nonprofit established?
So how long ago are we, Kate? We're probably a year and a half-ish, probably somewhere in there. Yep.
And what is the impetus behind Bound for the Kingdom? Not only the organization as a nonprofit, but also the music festival.
So we are out there basically to save souls and feed souls for Jesus, doing it through community and just having a great time through worship doing it.
How'd you get I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jenny.
How'd you get started? How'd you get started doing this?
Yeah, so I've been promoting music for probably about the last 10 years, but if I go back even further, it's probably about 20 years ago that I started helping a gentleman down in the Quad Cities who runs a similar nonprofit called New Anthem. They put on bigger shows down there, so I was down there helping with merchandise and driving artists around and doing security. My claim to fame is I got to escort Chuck Norris at the Adler Theater one year.
Wait.
Wait, you don't escort Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris escorts
you, my
That's
friend.
right. So that's always my claim to fame. So I actually, he had really 2 what I would consider real bodyguards with him too. So
when Chuck Norris does a push-up, he's not lifting his body; he's pushing the earth
he's
down.
pushing the earth down.
Yeah, I love all those Chuck
I
Norris.
love those.
Yeah.
So Chuck Norris.
So Chuck Norris says, so about 10 years ago, the gentleman in the Quad Cities, he's like, Johnny, you really need to do something up in your neck of the woods. Obviously, we can't put on, a 10,000-seat arena like the iWireless or whatever they call it nowadays.
Yeah.
But we can definitely put on smaller events at churches and, at the riverfront too. I was looking at the riverfront going, man, I bet I could put a couple thousand people down there just at the riverfront.
Easily.
Yeah.
So. Beautiful venue. And I apologize. For some reason, I thought it was over in Fulton. But did you do it there the first year?
They just did one.
So we do I'll call them one-off events.
Okay.
So I do we probably do Kate, 3 or 4 shows a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them would be like at a local church. But yeah, this is the 5th year for actually being at the riverfront.
Great. So I go to eventbrite.com. I search Bound for the Kingdom. I find the event there again, September 4th. What do tickets cost? What's parking like? And I get to see all of these different performers for one registration.
Yeah.
One ticket?
You want to handle this one, Kate, or you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
So if you go to eventbrite.com and look for Bound for the Kingdom, you're going to see obviously a banner of our artists coming. Ticket prices are this year going to be $35, which gets you 2 nights of music.
Oh, wow.
And then if you can gather a group of 10 people to get like a group discount, they'll be $25 a ticket.
Wow.
So with a group of 10 or more. The day of the show, they'll go up a little bit to $40 just to get people involved with planning ahead a little bit. So we feel that's a reasonable price for 2 nights of music.
That is beyond reasonable
Right.
for 2 nights.
Right. So I've always been torn on that a little bit because I want people. We know the area is not like super rich area. We want the people to
I
come to the
understand.
shows. So I've always been torn about, do we charge too much money and nobody comes, or do we charge a little bit and hopefully everybody comes,
Right.
So trying to find the happy medium is
Well,
always
John,
been-
let me put your mind at ease because you're not the only one that struggles with that thought. But I will say, if you go free, you can never go up.
Yeah.
Right.
If you
Right.
if you start at a cost and over time you learn how to manage your processes better, the cost of the entertainers goes down a little bit, you can always come down. But I have learned that lesson the hard way. And also when somebody pays to go to an event, they have a little bit more skin in the game. And it's easier to say, I'm going to attend this because I don't want to waste my $35. Whereas if it's free, it's an easy decision to make if they're not feeling that great that day or they just don't want to get out of their sweatpants, so you don't feel bad for charging.
No.
I work with a lot of nonprofits and organizations that want to do the right thing, and they always think that offering free is the right thing. But unfortunately, free is something you can never come back from.
Right.
And even like the 4th of July festival here at Clinton, we've kind of learned that lesson throughout the years is everybody wants something. They want to come down there. They want to have free food. They want free events. They want all these things. But it costs money to get all those things there. And then after a while, you can only tap into your sponsors so much. And then you realize the philanthropic pool's getting shallow. And then, of course, you have one big sponsor pull out. Next thing you know, you find yourself in a financial crisis. So you're doing the right thing. Don't ever second guess yourself. But for $35 for 2 nights of live music entertainment, that is not only affordable, but it's a very attractive price point.
It is.
Yeah.
Kate, what artists are you having? It goes without saying this is a family event.
Yeah, it is. And if you go to the website, when you see the artist, there's a little thing on the website that you can click on to see what all of them sing.
Sure.
You might not know them by name. It's kind of notoriously talked about in Christian music. I don't know the artist's name, but I know that song.
I know that song.
So you can click on it, hear the songs that they sing, and have an idea of who's coming in. So Friday night we have John Michael.
John Michael Summerall. Yep.
Summerall,
From
yep.
Cutlass.
Yep. Cutlass, yeah.
Yeah. And Olivia Lane, Amanda Nolan, and Grace. I don't know how to say that.
Grace Hybert. She would be our
She's
local.
our local artist.
Oh,
So
nice.
the
So
night.
you
Start
have
at the
local
night.
artists,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, what's her
start
name
out
again? I'm
each
sorry.
night.
It's Grace Hybert.
Okay.
She's part of the River Church worship team here in town.
Very cool.
So,
And
yeah,
I'm
we like-
assuming very talented singer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
that's amazing that you can get just even the local talent's really really good.
Yeah,
it is.
So yeah, you can find a lot of good.
Yeah,
local
it's
talent,
funny.
too.
Like even like Molly Shannon, a Clinton
Yeah.
High grad, she just moved to Nashville, going down there to cut her teeth and see what happens. And
Keeps going.
you could swing for the fences, but it's kind of like that Toby Keith song, "How Do You Like Me Now?" You never know. You absolutely never know. So best luck to her. But that's great
Right.
local talent.
Yep.
So Saturday we start out the night with Josh and Sarah Furrow, which is our local,
Yeah, so they're part of the
youth
Crossview worship team over in
Very
Fulton.
nice.
So
Oh, okay.
and they run the youth worship or the youth group in
Mm-hmm.
Fulton too. Then we have Madison Watkins, and she was a idol.
American Idol?
Yeah, I don't remember for sure which one it was, but it might have been American Idol she was on.
Either
One-
way,
one of
she's
the
better
singing
than
shows.
us.
I always say one of those
been there.
singing shows.
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
those singing shows. Yep.
So we're looking forward to that with the kids. She brings a lot of energy for the young girls and stuff to.
Good. And what a
listen
good
to.
role model,
Right,
too,
yeah,
to see these
yeah.
young women up there performing fearlessly and celebrating their faith and
Right.
just being able to sit there and sing to a younger generation as they look at you all starry-eyed. That's got to feel pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, Kate, we were talking before we went on air about how you got involved, and that kind of connects with that.
Yeah, so John, my friend here, I started in youth group. My kids were in youth group, and he brought music to them, and it encouraged me because my kids were learning songs with good lyrics versus the secular stuff that they
Right.
were learning. So as our relationship grew, I got involved with him, and now I've seen that pass through not only my children, but now my grandchildren. So they're walking around singing songs with good lyrics versus some of the songs that are out there that I would shudder to think that they.
Yeah. Well, it's always surprising. I mean, I grew up, I didn't listen to Christian music. I knew there was a genre out there. But my really good friend, when I was stationed in New Mexico, I would get into his little Honda Civic, and he'd be listening to like heavy metal.
Yeah.
And it was Christian heavy
Christian
metal.
metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was also bands that I listened to like Switchfoot and several other alternative rock bands that one would just never know,
Right.
that they were started out as a Christian rock band and had a few hits and put out some albums, and then they were mainstream, but nobody ever knew they cut their teeth in Christian music in that genre.
And it makes you feel good. That kind of music makes you feel good. One
brings hope and joy and laughter.
Does.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Proclaimers? 500 miles.
I would walk 500 miles.
Yes.
They, like Andy's saying, they're predominantly a Christian
Okay.
duo. And I just love their music. And it just makes you feel good. And like you said, the message is so much different.
Yeah.
Look at all the artists that have started. I mean, especially like in R&B and that sang in their church.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they were discovered, was from a choir or a few solos. I mean, it's just amazing. I think, wasn't Whitney Houston discovered singing in her church? And what a crazy story. But yeah, I mean, and I always find, like, when you go to church and you see a group of people singing up front, they seem to be, again, fearless, but they have a tremendous amount of confidence. And I think that's because the entire congregation is there supporting them and singing along. And it's not like you're sitting in front of a group of judges who is sitting there trying to determine if you're good or not, if you have the chops, but they're just listening to you. And, nobody ever looks at me all starry-eyed when I sing karaoke. They clap when I'm done, but I don't know if that's because I'm done or I did such an amazing job.
So when you go to the riverfront, what do you bring with you? And what can't you bring with you?
So very, very laid back.
Okay.
Lawn chairs, blankets, sit where you like. The only thing I ask is that we don't bring coolers in, because I want to honor the food trucks that are there.
Yeah.
And then obviously parking is right across the street.
Yep.
So you park right there. There's no fee to park. So very laid back.
How's the ticketing work now? They come through a dedicated entrance? Do they scan a ticket? Do they have to bring something with them, a printout? Is it on their phone? What's it look like?
Yeah, so Eventbrite's probably about as good as Ticketmaster is nowadays, where you literally can hold your phone up and one of my gals will scan the code on the phone and you're good to go.
Yeah, they have really simplified the process.
Yep. So I still have I'll say a seasoned generation a little bit who still wants to do paper tickets. So I do a little bit of that on the side if need be. But mostly go electronic, and it helps me too to see where people are ordering tickets from. Every time we do a concert, whether it's the Bandshell or whether it's in a church, I always see tickets from Cedar Rapids, from Chicago, from Peoria.
Awesome.
So we're getting just our area, but we're also getting a larger area too. We just had a show last week with 10th Avenue North that we had a couple come from Indiana to the show.
Very cool.
Yeah,
and 10th Avenue North is is a band.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking also before we went on air about how important it is to come to the shows, even if you don't know the band, because next year they could be winning a Grammy. Isn't that what you told me?
Yeah, so we had, about 6 years ago, we had an artist, Zach Williams, who was an opener for a show we did over in Fulton. And a year later, he won a Grammy for Christian Artist of the Year.
Wow.
Won the Grammy. So just how quick that they can rise.
Right.
Well, just looking at your Facebook page, Consumed by Fire is one of the bands. Evidently, they're pretty hot.
Yeah, so Consumed by Fire, again.
And no pun intended.
Right.
Yes.
But I was telling Jenny that, the 10th Avenue show, you could listen to the whole set and know almost every song if you listen to Christian radio. Consumed by Fire is the same way. So you might not recognize them by name, like Kate said, but you're going to listen and go, oh, I knew that song. I heard that song on the radio. I heard that song on the radio. So, yeah, they're definitely an entity on Christian radio right now, for sure.
So, very simple. The nights for the live music is the 4th and the 5th. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so September 4th, September 5th. What time does the music start?
Music will start at 5 p.m. and usually goes to about 9:30-ish both evenings. So we've tried to tighten it up so Friday night people can get off work and still make the show, grab some food and sit down and have a good time. And Saturday, again, about the same time, 5 to 9:30.
Now, what do you do to kill time when the artists are switching out?
We're pretty quick about that. So
Okay.
I try to line things up where I can do quick switches. There might be a little bit of a switch between Consumed by Fire and Ryan Stevenson, but the rest of it should go pretty smooth.
And I'm sure professional sound.
Yep, so we have a gentleman, Dana Wolf, who's done a lot of stuff in our area for Finally Fridays and some other things too, who's doing the sound for us this year.
Makes a difference.
Yep. So definitely a sound guy who knows what they're doing, because there are things that John doesn't know what he's doing, and that's one of them. So
yeah, it makes a big difference. And the only reason I asked, my wife's in a band. She's been in a country band for nearly 20 years now. They've been together. But very seldom will she play events where it's multiple bands, single venue in one night. But I always cringe sometimes when they don't have a plan for when they're swapping the bands out. So the one band ends, and then it's just like crickets as the other band just navigates to the stage, starts setting up their sound, doing sound check. And I'm always telling the one sound guy, I'm like, you got to have music playing, man. You can't just let people sit here in silence or they're going to walk away.
Well, we literally will do sound checks ahead of time, obviously, and then I'll MC, and it'll be a couple minutes between switches a lot of times, so it's very, very short on the switches. So
yeah, that's great. And even the sound that's available at the Bandshell, the Parks and Rec Department upgraded that a few years ago, and it is much better than what it was in the past. I remember emceeing Easter egg hunts for Kiwanis Club back in the day. And that microphone had like a 1 foot by 1 foot radius that you could not get out from beyond that little section, or you would break up. Yeah. But now they have these quality mics and new speakers, and it is nice for just the standard like PA system style.
So it's going to sound good.
During the band breaks too, there's the food trucks that they can go get something to eat at. The vendors, all the bands have their own little tables, and lots of times after the show
Swag.
they'll come out and talk with the audience.
Oh, nice.
Or meet them at their table. They'll say, come meet me back at my table. Yeah. And then we also have people walking around for prayer if anybody needs prayer or some time to talk.
Very cool.
Now, you have sponsors, and if somebody would like to sponsor, how do they go about that?
Yes, please sponsor, yes. So like you mentioned a little bit ago, sponsorships, especially if you lose a big one, can hurt pretty quick. So, we always tell people, let us know. We can get you sponsorship information. There's plenty of different ways to get a hold of us to get the information you need to sponsor.
I'm sure if you sponsor, you can probably get a little table at the venue. Or
so tickets and tables and so whatever, sky's the limit there. So if you want to sponsor
a band,
our website. Yeah, it's on our website, so you can go to the website. boundforthekingdom.org, and then you can go right down to the bottom and say sponsor. Click that, and there'll be a form to pop up. Just fill out the form and send it in, and
Now, sponsorship obviously is incredibly vital to the success of any event, and especially a low-cost event like this. So it's important, and that's one of the reasons why Grow Clinton works so aggressively to retain our existing businesses and attract new ones, because not only obviously does it make a massive economic impact through payroll and the construction process and all that stuff that goes with it, but having those organizations in our own backyard that continue to be philanthropic and give back to the community allows us to do things that we would not be able to do without those sponsorship dollars. Just because you're right, you want to charge $35 for 2 nights of music, that's a fair price point. And then you want to charge $135. Now you're segmenting a group of people that probably are not able to afford to come.
Right.
And you got to weigh the pros and the cons with every decision. And it's not rocket science. There is no silver bullet for putting on an event. You just learn from every single year, and you guys have 5 years, or about to have 5 years under your belt. So no doubt it will go smoothly. But again, if you want to sponsor the Bound for the Kingdom, it's the 5th annual festival, live music, located here in Clinton, right along beautiful riverfront down at the Bandshell. You can go to boundforthekingdom.org or just contact John Dail directly. If you need his contact info, let us know. We'll be able to hook you up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you get excited about this time of year? Just prior to the event, obviously your heart's pumping. You're probably a little anxious because I know whenever you plan an event, you get a little anxious. But it's got to be an amazing feeling of accomplishment once the dust settles, it's all said and done. The bands are up there, and you see smiles on people's faces.
I keep telling people I'm going to write a book when I'm all said and done with this. Memoirs of a small market Christian promoter, because there's stories that happen every time we do this. I can tell you stories upon stories of things that happen.
What didn't you expect? I mean, something that you didn't expect when you started
What happened that was
this.
surprising to you?
Yeah, what surprises you
What surprises me?
about all of this planning and getting it all together?
Thank goodness I have a great team, number one. Because there are things I do good and some things that I don't do as well. I'm always coming expecting the Lord to move some way, somehow. And again, I just said that time after time, it happens. So the one that comes to mind all the time is we did a show at Clinton River Church a few years ago. We were about $1,500 short on that show, and there were 3 artists there. And a gal about halfway into the show came and got me, brought me out to the lobby, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" She says, "I'm just feeling led to lead the artist to the next spot." She says, "I'd like to write a $500 check to this band, that band, and this band, which equals $1,500 that we were short." So it's stuff like that
unsolicited.
happens. Yeah, unsolicited.
Wow.
That knew nothing about the behind the scenes. So that's just God moving, and he does it every time. And I'm pretty sure I got cracked in the back of the head several times about just trust me and trust the process and let's go.
Trust.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Kate, I don't know if you have any stories or not,
Nope.
but
Come on.
Not yet.
Yeah,
She
no.
doesn't have any yet.
I
It's
don't
going to
think-
happen
I
this
don't
year,
know.
though.
I don't know.
Kate gets
That's
to
what I
drive a lot of the artists, so she gets to get
Yeah.
a lot of good one-on-one conversations with the artists, which is
Good.
a lot of
What
fun
do they
sometimes
fly
too.
into the Quad Cities, Chicago, a little bit of everything?
Yeah, all over. I took one to Cedar Rapids to fly out.
You cook
Yeah,
for
it
them
just
too.
depends. And I did cook early on for Jordan Felice.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I guess the story that I think of, it isn't about God moving, but it's just how artists come in. We've had an artist come a couple of times, and he stayed at a hotel in Fulton and loved Steam Anchor. And
Oh, yeah,
his,
coffee joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
his agent called me and said, "Hey, can you go pick them up and take them to Steam Anchor?" And I'm like, "Really? Really? That's where you want me to take them?"
Well, you know, at the end of the day, they're still people.
Yeah,
Human
yeah.
beings, right?
Yeah.
I can take them, no problem, but you're sure they need me to take them? And he's like, "Yeah, please." So I
It's right across the
picked
street.
them up, and they got in my car, and they're like, "Hey, thanks for taking us. We really appreciate it. We just really enjoyed that coffee." And I pulled around and pulled into Steam Anchor, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
You could have hoofed it.
I could have walked.
I think that's interesting. You know, it just goes to show you, no matter what kind of level of fame you have, at the end of the day, you're still a human being, right?
Right.
So I've never been one to get like starstruck. Every once in a while, you see a celebrity in the airport, especially flying out of Chicago or Philadelphia, and all these people just crowd. Actually, I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all you want to do is walk from your connecting flight to the appropriate terminal,
Right.
sit and relax, scroll on your phone, take a breather, eat your Cinnabon,
Yeah.
and you can't do it
Can't.
because people want to bug you all the
The
time.
price
Right.
you
And it's
pay.
funny because I sat next to, what was his name? Trace Atkins. So, country music star. Really big guy, really tall, deep voice, if you don't know him. And I sat there in the terminal, and he was sitting next to me, and I recognized him, and then he must have been talking with his agent. And they were going back and forth, and I was just there on my laptop. I was in the service at the time. I was flying back home from Pennsylvania to New Mexico. And I said to him, I said, I don't want to bug you. I said, I know you constantly get people bugging you. I said, do you ever get tired of it? Because he was just talking about a schedule. And at the time, he was just revealing, he was in his 50s, and it was getting harder and harder to play all of these gigs. And he said, no, man, I'll never get tired of it.
No.
He's like, they'll have to take me off the trail here and the tour in a casket. I want to do this forever. And then he sat there and he like started thinking, and then I walked in and he was in first class. And he grabbed me by the arm. He said, hey, thanks for saying that, because it made me start thinking about how much I enjoy this. And then I decided I wasn't going to complain anymore.
Right.
So,
Right.
but that was just me. And I think
Yeah.
I was in my 20s, maybe 22, 23.
Right.
But just sitting there listening to somebody talk about what they go through. And he's there in just sweats and a sweatshirt. And,
Yeah. And they bring a lot of energy. I mean, Christian music, I've been to River Church. I've seen, the musical side of that. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. It's not, traditionally for someone like me, that it's like a choir.
Yeah.
You sing this verse, then you go down to verse 8, go back up to verse 2,
Mm-hmm.
that, and then the boys sing, then the girls, it's just traditional. And this is a performance. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
something that's going to be uplifting and a lot of energy.
I think honestly, if I'm being honest, 30, 40 years ago, Christian music had kind of a rap of being maybe not as good as like secular music was, but that's not the case anymore. I mean, the music is really good, whether it's local artists or artists that we're bringing or artists who sells out a 12,000 seat arena.
Yeah.
The music is really good, so it's not that way anymore at all.
I love that you're having local artists too.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, you're going to really enjoy them too, because they're top-notch artists themselves.
it's a good experience. In basic training, you could only get out on a Sunday if you went to church, right?
Right.
Or you were stuck in the barracks polishing your boots and cleaning. And for me, I grew up. I didn't go to church all the time. We were a Christian family. We had Christian values, but we didn't go to church all the time. And every once in a while I would go with my friends who were either Catholic or Protestants or whatever. And I always noticed a little bit of difference in the services depending on the denomination. And then when I was in the military, I went to my first like Southern Baptist worship with a bunch of friends. That was a straight up party. That was like the most fun I had in basic. Well, the bar set pretty low in basic training for fun. But just getting out and going there with all my friends and stuff, it was cool because I had never experienced anything like that.
And you want that. I mean, when I went to River Church it was for a baptism. And, you know, I'm Catholic, so we're at the conservative churches, and the music came on. And we were standing there going, are we supposed to be doing this?
Yeah.
You know, are we supposed to be having fun here? And I thought, well, that's the best message, really. Yeah. I mean, to come in, enjoy yourself, love the music, and now, you know, you have a festival for 2 nights. That's
and
pretty
each
cool.
one of these artists come with a story, and they're pretty good about sharing that story. So there's always some interesting backdrop.
The background.
Yeah.
I mean,
fun to listen to.
I think you know, it's teach their own. You like what you like.
Right.
And I don't think when it comes to faith that you're going to be judged by a higher power because you like one music over the other.
Right.
I mean, I would hope that the line is not that stiff, you know?
Right.
All right.
I like it all.
Well, thank you so much again. Bound for the Kingdom coming up September 4th and 5th. Go to eventbrite.com. I did it today. Just search Bound for the Kingdom. It pops right up. Happening here in Clinton, Iowa, down at the beautiful Bandshell, right along the riverfront. $35 gets you into 2 nights of music. Make sure you bring your app or your printout, whatever it is, so that John and his team can scan it when you go ahead and enter the venue. And then you have access to hear, is it 8 different? 8 different live performers.
That's
from
a great
Olivia
value.
Lane, John Micah Sumrall from Cutlass, Consumed by Fire, Ryan Stevenson, all sorts of people, as well as some local talent. You don't want to miss it. Easy peasy. Get your tickets and make sure that you're registered to attend.
Enjoy a beautiful night on the riverfront.
Yeah, you guys will have
Thank
great
you.
weather too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, not like today. Today's today's weird. Got in my truck. The sirens were going off here. And then somebody called me from the Clinton airport just to give me an update. Said that there looked like it was going to be a tornado touching down somewhere in Clinton County, just based on the weather observation. Straight line winds were forecasted to be anywhere between 60 and 70 miles an hour. I don't think it got that bad. However, you know, it ripped through pretty quickly. But everybody, I think, is a little gun shy from the derecho we had back in 2020.
2020.
Yeah. So weird. And
It
then
was a
it was
weird
like,
color.
then it cooled down like 15 degrees, and then it got warm again.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
well, they say if you don't like the weather in Iowa, just wait an hour. And
wait.
go back out and check it. It's guaranteed to change.
Think about this in December.
All right, Jen, you got a busy rest of your week?
I do. I have a busy, and then I'm on vacation again next week.
Nope.
So
Denied.
okay.
Denied. No,
All right.
enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
I am traveling to the great city of Marshalltown
Yeah.
this Thursday and Friday for the Iowa Chamber Alliance annual planning retreat, and we do our strategic plan. It's great. It's the top largest metropolitans in the state of Iowa. Their chambers are all part of this board. We get together and we talk about things that we're concerned about, things that we find to be impediments for economic growth within the state. And we brainstorm, and we have a lobbyist, and it's a pretty influential group of professionals.
For sure.
So we'll have a chance, I believe, we're meeting with, I don't know if Zach Lane's going to be there, but I know for sure we're going to have Rob Sand is going to come in and make a pit stop. So
Good.
very interesting elections coming up here.
Oh, my goodness.
Gubernatorial elections,
Yep.
very interesting. The next several election cycles are going to be very interesting in Iowa.
Wow.
This could be politically a totally different state
It
here.
could be.
So we'll wait and see with bated breath. All right, everybody. Thank you again. If you have not subscribed to the Grow Clinton podcast, be sure to do so wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be YouTube, Amazon Music, iTunes. Just search Grow Clinton Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you have a recommendation for a podcast guest or topic we should cover here on the show, email me, podcast@growclinton.com. Again, podcast@growclinton.com. I'll make sure to add your idea to the queue. We got a couple more shows coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We're getting kickbacks because we went dormant for almost a month.
I know
Now
it.
Jenny's kind of how many do we have? 3, 4 coming up?
We got some coming up. There was an Iron Man one coming up that I'm
Oh,
really
yeah. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring our own Antonia Gerks, a.k.a. Tony, on the podcast to talk about the 2018 inaugural Grow Clinton Oktoberfest.
2026.
Oh.
You said
Oh, sorry.
2018?
September 18th, 2026. It's been a long time, Jenny. It's been about a month. We're going to have Oktoberfest. And what's so cool is, Tony, born in Greece, raised in Germany. She knows all about a traditional German Oktoberfest.
Yep.
I have purchased my own authentic leather lederhosen.
I got my Drindle.
I have the Bavarian hat. You got your Drindle. And we're ready to rock and roll. And that's tickets are on sale, I think, already now, $20. You can get some authentic German food, courtesy of the Copper Mill. That will also be the host venue out there, just by the Wild Rose Casino and Resort. Very low cost, $20 gets you in. We'll have some German beer and wine, and a traditional German polka band
I'm excited
is
about
coming
that.
to play from Chicago. So we're very excited about that.
So cool.
So we'll learn more about that in a future episode featuring Tony from Grow Clinton, our Director of Marketing and Events Planning. Thank you again for listening to the show. Until we speak again, folks, stay classy. See ya. Thank you for listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all your socials. Until next time, see ya.